All right. The final part of chapter 42 and the end of The Sorrows of Satan by Marie Corelli. Um, yeah, so at the final bit here, we have him hunkering down, deciding to kind of take up literary work again. It isn't an instantaneous. He's a wonderful guy. He does talk about how each day he is kind of working on that beast, egotism, that thing inside of him. So it's still very much there. That Corelli is kind of just telling us about it at the end. Really, kind of lessens it. I still find, but they do give him a couple of tests. The author gives him a couple of tests. He gets a letter from Mavis Clare saying, like, I heard you made it back to England, and I know that where I live must have a lot of terrible memories for you, but when you feel like you can, please come and see me, your friend Mavis Clare. And he's like, oh, she is my friend. And he says, like, yeah, at some point I will come and see her, but I've got a lot of self work to do, and I will never speak of love to her, of my love for her. That is a paradise that I've lost. I'm never going to get that. But yeah, at some point I will. And then the second test that he has is he goes for a walk after that. And who should he come face to face with but Lucio? And Lucio smiles at him, kind of a you know he comes at him with a smile, and he's just had a remembrance of the city beautiful, that image, that scene that Lucio gave him, and that freaks him out. My thoughts reverted to the strange things I'd seen in the East, the face of the dead Egyptian dancer, and covered by light again after 2,000 years, the face of Sybil. And then I remembered the vision of the city beautiful, in which one face had remained veiled, the face I most desired to see. And I trembled more and more as my mind, despite my will, began to weave together links of the past and present, till they seemed to grow into one and the same. Was I again to be the prey of evil forces? Did some new danger threaten me? And it's at this point, disturbed by all these thoughts, he goes for a walk, runs into Lucio, and Lucio he looked me full at me, and a questioning smile rested on his lips, and he straightens himself up and just walks by without comment. And he stood aside and let me pass, and I continued my walk steadily, though dazed like one in a dream, till I reached the shadowed side of the street opposite the Houses of Parliament, where he again sees Lucio, who is waiting outside. And all these people come out, all these politicians come out. One or two of the tall, dark figure as a friend and familiar greeted him, and others knew him not. But he waited on until he saw a well-known cabinet minister came towards him, and watched them as greeting the minister cordially in that musical rich voice I knew of old. He took his arm, and they both walked on slowly, talking earnestly. I watched them till their figures were seated in the moonlight, the one tall, kingly and commanding, the other burly and broad and self-assertive in demeanor. I saw them ascend the steps and finally disappear within the house of the England's imperial government, devil and man together, which I guess is Marie Corelli's final little statement on politics, which, that the devil is in politics would probably surprise nobody. So yeah, that is the end of The Srrws of Satan, which I was looking at it. It's like I was reading this. I'm glad I'm glad to finish it just at the end of the month here. It's like, oh, okay, it's taken me probably over 80 days, definitely over 80 days to read all of this. I'm glad I stopped in the midway point and did a review just to kind of keep it in my head. Yeah, it was enjoyable. It's pulpy kind of nonsense, but it's pulpy, enjoyable kind of nonsense. Very much of a certain point of view of, what simplistic point of view of God. I don't know. You might take it as a broad thing, and to take it too literally would be to to be as simple-minded as maybe a certain audience would be. You don't want to be a fundamentalist, I guess is what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm going to think about this, and I will try and come up with a review. Whether I review the second half and then I review the whole thing, I'll see. I would like to try and do a review of this, though. We shall see. More videos later.